All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noita. Today, we're going to be doing a challenge run where I have to always be going down. And I don't mean I'm not allowed to go up at all, because obviously then I couldn't jump and it would be basically impossible. But I cannot go back up to previous zones, and I cannot, like, go up to kill bosses, and I cannot ferry wands down from the previous level. And I basically just have to play as if I am always going down. And I imagine that there's probably a couple people who are still playing that way. And if you are and you're struggling, then let me tell you, you can be making the game a lot easier on yourself if you do go back up. And you'll see how I do that in other runs. All of the other runs on my channel, you'll see that I go back up. But in this one, I'm going to struggle. And that's just how it's going to be. I'm going to have a more difficult time than I would otherwise. And, yeah, I don't know how much more difficult, obviously, because Noita is a game with some level of RNG. But that RNG is normally mitigated by the fact that you can go back up, and you have a ton of control in what is essentially an open world. But, yeah, if you don't play Noita like it's an open world game, then you're playing it like it's a rather hard roguelike. So that's a bit of a thing. All right, we're gonna backtrack for that heart at the very beginning of the level. We've already got our tablet. That is always first order of business for me. I do love me some Tabulous Magdarena. Just a Smaragdina, whatever you want to call it. It's that one. It's the one. You could also get the one at the top of the mountain if you want. But, I don't know. It's such a short distance. It's a lot more convenient. Although you do get the extra HP from getting the one at the top of the Holy Mountain. If it's Nightmare, I'd go for that one just about every time. Especially since the wands that they give you tend to make it really easy to scale a mountain at the start of Nightmare. Got some Pheromone. Pheromone's going to be really nice because I can sell wands if I want, which is pretty darn helpful. By the way, if anybody's wondering what patch of Noita we're playing today, this is, let me take a look. We'll just take a peek. So we've got some new spells, and they're the Implicate spells, and we've also got the Meat Biome and new chemical reactions. So, yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff. We are on the beta branch, so there could be the odd thing broken here or there, but for the most part, it's been pretty consistent for me, which is nice. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a meat run biome for you all and showing off the new achievement, or tree achievement, or arborigold, whatever you want to call it. This guy is doing some damage to me. That is unfortunate. Took a lot of unnecessary damage there. But it's okay. It's the first floor. I'm not too worried about it. We're not going to be able to backtrack to make double use of that health anyway. So it doesn't really come into play too much, I would say. Let's go ahead and punch through here, and we will drop on down. You might find that I am a little bit quiet tonight, and that's because it is the night before my my big trip, going on a vacation, going out to Drumheller with my mum and my girlfriend. Should be a really good time. Never really gone on a family vacation before, and never really left the province much. So that should be really, really fun. Looking forward to that. Just murder these dudes. Beautiful. Loving that. It looks like a bunch of hammies died down here. Ripping in peace. There's a really high chance of a treasure chest or heart spawn here. And we got the treasure chest. Jabby. See what we've got in it. Return. Return would normally be a pretty handy spell for ferrying wands down between levels, but not super helpful here, unfortunately. Maybe if we somehow luck into a Nala, but considering Pyramid Boss is going to be essentially off limits, I don't really see Return getting too much use here, outside of maybe, I mean, there's not even a reason to not collapse Holy Mountains, because there's no returning for editing with the challenge that I'm imposing on myself, which is pretty lame. Yeah, we're down to 11 health. I've taken a lot of damage in the early game here. This hasn't been a good first floor for me, but that's okay. Sometimes it be like that. let's blow this up from a safe distance and head on to the next floor. 600 gold, 3 wands, pheromone, and a tablet. It'll do. Not great, but we'll check what we got in the shop here. Fireball Orbit's great, and that's a really, really good cheap wand. All-Seeing Eye is one of my favorite perks in the game. Gotta be like a top 4 perk. It's just really strong. It gives you a lot of options. And I think we'll take the chain spell. This is a bit of a difficult choice, I would say, but I do think that this is the best choice. And we will put lightning on there, and I'm going to build this as a secondary wand. It's going to be a secondary DPS wand. I'm just going to do that. That looks pretty good. So as long as I swap off of this wand, I'll be able to shoot it at a pretty good pace. The cast delay is still there, but it's not bad. And we don't really have any true digging, I would say. Kind of lacking in that regard. But Fireball Orbit will do some basic stuff, and we'll have the basic Firebolt available for us, just in the scenario that we need a little bit of digging done. Oof. This guy is in an awkward spot for me to deal with. There we go. So yeah, that's the main reason why I wanted the Fireball Orbit wand alongside the Chain Bolt wand, is specifically for nests, because while Chain Bolt is spectacular at dealing with a mass of enemies, it does not home onto nests at all. And that's really, really problematic, because this is the one floor where that's kind of a big deal. There are 3 different types of nests, and all of them are fairly annoying. I would say the hammy one isn't really that bad, but all the other ones are quite annoying. We could theoretically dig through this with the Fireball Orbit. It might take a little bit, but we'll give it a shot. Looks like we're almost through. There we go. Not too bad. You gotta keep an eye out for what materials you can dig through with what. A lot of Bouncing Bursts. Bouncing Burst is one of those spells that scales up really well if you get lucky and find the combination. But I find that combination tends to be pretty rare these days. If you're not in the know, Bouncing Burst along with Arrow, Disc Projectile, and I feel like there's another one. If you know what it is, comment in the comment section down below. Energy Sphere. There you go. That's the one. They all scale with by increase in velocity. So the faster they're going, the more damage they'll do, and the slower they're going, the less damage they'll do. So it's base velocity, and then you increase it with something like accelerative homing or accelerating shot, and you'll increase your damage. Note that just giving it a high speed won't give it increased damage. That's a very common mistake that people make. We've got a shop over there, by the way. Note by the structure. And we've got a wand with some fireworks, which is going to be better digging than what I have. I'm going to go ahead and give up my firebolt for that. That's just not very helpful. And that other one that dropped there isn't very useful either. Let's see what we've got in the shop. I don't know. Quad shot is okay, but I don't really have anything to take advantage of that. And Spiral Arc is great if you go up for notes, but we're not allowed to go up. I'm going to take it anyway, though, because I think we're going to have enough money by going through Fungal Caverns to, generate some good stuff. These are 4 candles, which means there was an attempted ghost spawn. And that means that the player ghost is probably somewhere on this level. Not sure where yet. But that is definitely something to be wary of. Oh, well, I think we might have spotted him there just briefly. Somebody had a wand. That's always scary. That is some stuff going on, that's for sure. There's enough teleport mages around, and we do have to be wary of them. Use this to dig. That is lovely. They're just blowing each other up and stuff. This is great. If we can get into there, we'll get a bunch of the money. Oh man, it's a little scary. 44 damage comes off of these mushrooms. You do not want to get blown up by them. They're extremely weak to fire though, so that's nice. Gorgeous wand. We're definitely taking that. Drilling shot is great. Lightning bolt is good in a pinch. This guy's now got a wand with what appears to be a mixture of spells. Quite a mixture indeed. I'm a little bit scared of that. The Death Cross on there is auto-homing to the player, which is definitely problematic. We're going to shoot around the corner here with the chain bolts. That is a great functionality. Whoever has that wand is above me. That might... Oh, wait, no, that's not a... I don't think that's a wand. I think there's a spells to... oh my... yes, it is a wand. It was me. I'm not going to bother with that, obviously. We're going to leave that behind. Not exactly a helpful wand. There's so much gold kicking around in this level. Gotta go check this thing out really quick. We got short-range homing on here. The Death Cross is right there. Red Glimmer is available. It's an 8-cast wand. It's completely useless outside of its spells, but it does give me some interesting options in the early game. Pretty rare to have spells quite like that. And we're lucky to not come across any wasp nests yet. That's pretty nice. This is a very active fungal caverns. Whoa, little bit of chip there, but not too much. We're good. Fungal caverns, one of those levels you really just want to take as much as you can from, because it is insanely valuable. That teleport spell, or that teleport that guy just dropped, would have loved to have that. On a normal run, that's game breaking. But on this run, it's just kind of good. Just kind of good. A little bit of lava that we just ate there. Not exactly what I'm up for. Okay. Thankfully, no electric stone in this one. Love to see that. Love to see the 1% not happening. Teleport. I mean, I can't say no. My favorite. Short teleport bolt is where it's at. And I'm saying at this point, chain bolt. I'm not using chain bolt that much anyway. I'm happy to swap out for the fireball orbit. Fireball orbit is just very, very good. It's a really strong early game carry. Definitely why I would recommend, if you make it down to the jungle, go out of your way to kill the dragon, because most of the time you're going to have an option to kill him, and that's how you unlock the orbit spells. So it might take a little bit to get down to the jungle for your first try, but it's extremely worth it once you get there. Berserkium's a little bit scary because it's going to make this guy hit even harder if he gets any on him. Thankfully he didn't. And this is a really, really juicy starting wand. Both of these wands are very not good. Recharge and mana charge cost, respectively, are both screwing these wands over. This one's pretty acceptable and even comparable to this one. But it would be nice to have two good wands, you know? So I guess the question is, am I willing to ditch this floor and just leave with what I have? I think the answer is not quite. Let's look around a little bit more, and we'll try to get this treasure chest, and then we'll go from there, sort of thing. That seems like a good spot. Wow. Rude. Berserk makes those guys attack me. So that's just unfortunate. We didn't get anything good out of there, unfortunately. I should be able to deal damage to this guy, because Fireball Orbit is not owned by the player. At times. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But also Explosions. Explosions hit a lot of things. That's beautiful. Definitely want to avoid that. Did we look at this wand yet? It's crap. It's bad. But I don't need to look at that wand. Okay, goodbye Fireball Orbit, goodbye Spark Bolts. You were a very pleasant wand to use. But yeah, we have no damage dealing capabilities now. These all do 44 damage. We're in danger. I'm gonna go back the way I came. Sometimes you just gotta assess the situation. Enemies are scary. And that is just the truth. We're gonna go ahead and take this thing briefly and try to... oh, man. Not gonna work. Okay. We're just gonna go around. It's fine. We'll go back around the same way. Generally, I would recommend, if you're gonna drop your main damage wand like I'm doing, go back the same way you came. It's just a lot better for everyone involved. Especially you. Alright, let's grab one of these. Especially me, you know? That ambrosia, that's fire. It's a shame. Okay, getting a little bit lost here. You can see the teleporting enemies really did a number on this place. Enemies everywhere. But not too bad. Run on down here. Beautiful. And we've got lots of good stuff to play. Ooh! It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful run. We got explosion immunity. We got explosion immunity and all-seeing eye and short-range homing and drills and the lightning bolt and just so many good things. It's a beautiful run. We don't really have any explosives to take advantage of yet. And we'll hold on to the slime mist and the short-range homing. Could do a Death Cross build. Death Cross is notoriously ungood It's very sad how bad it is, but I'd be willing to give it a try. Just because we have a ludicrous amount of spells that can kind of make it work. We're gonna put a spiral arc on it to improve its damage. And actually, we don't even have any delivery method. We don't even have a trigger. Do we want to buy the worst trigger ever? this is just an Omega Jank wand right now. But I'm game for it. So I'm immune to Death Cross's explosions. So that should be. I mean, it is safe. So we can try that out. You can see that does some pretty respectable damage. The real question is, does the homing home hard enough to hit the target? It looks like it kind of does. We'll play around with that. Keep in mind that we're going to be playing in such a way that I can't come back up. So, you know, if this wand sucks, I just got to run an exfiltrate to the next floor, which would suck pretty hard. But I'm willing to take that risk just to do something a little different. And let's dump those. I guess if I were going to make the optimal wand in this situation, I would probably use... Okay, let's show you the optimal wand, because this isn't the optimal wand. This is just a fun wand. The optimal wand is, hey, I've got mana, and I've got reduce recharge, and I've got like the digging bolt as well. So reduce recharge decreases by 0.17. This adds 0.17. So we're net even on that. Which means that we're dealing with a 0.12 cast delay, and we've got Glimmer to help with that, which is great. And then our recharge time, 0.33, so 0.37. We still have a little bit of recharge time to deal with, so we want to try and beat that out however we can. And Digging Bolt helps with that. And now we've got a couple more open slots for dealing damage. And I can add a triple spell in and 2 Spark Bolts, and we'll see how this shoots. Huh, it's not as fast as I would like. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to put the mana back here, so that way it's casting double, and you can see that it lasts pretty well. I wonder if we can do even better, though. So these are adding 0.05, we've got minus 0.13. Let's just tinker with it a little bit. Sometimes you can just move some stuff around, and all of a sudden everything works well. There we go. So we were dealing with cast delay, not recharge time. So we reduced our cast delay by a very small amount, and all of a sudden our wand is spectacular. So this would probably be the best wand after manipulating things a little bit. And I don't think you can get too much better than this, to be honest. This seems about as good as you can get. But I think we'll play with the other one, because it's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit different from what I'm used to. And it's good to experiment. And even in my old age, my old Noita age, I should continue doing things different. So that's what we're going to do. And Digging Bolt is nice. Every flying enemy takes half drill damage, but no enemy is fully immune to drill damage. So it's pretty effective in that regard. It's a bit of a weirdie, but it's really, really good. And it digs well, too. We could also add Spark Bolt instead of the Digging Bolt, so that way we can get critical hit chance on the Death Cross, because that retroactively applies, which is really nice. The order of this doesn't matter at all. In fact, I could even have these, like, here, and these would still all apply to the Death Cross, which is pretty neat. So I'll show that off here. You can see that it homes on there. And just to show it more, obviously, we'll put the red glimmer on it. You can see there it is with the red glimmer. Pretty neat. Wand building in this game is funny like that. You can get away with a lot of configurations and have the exact same thing happen. Some people don't like that. I think it's pretty okay. Like, I don't mind it. It would be nice to have more options, and sometimes configuration does matter like that, especially if you're using like divide bys and stuff. But yeah, well, that's enough ranting. Let's play the video game. I'm sorry. I feel like I've been in this holy mountain forever. So keep in mind that this is the wand that I have for this area. So if it sucks, then, you know, eat eggs. You got to go down to the next floor. Obviously, we did technically leave the holy mountain intact, and we could go back up normally, just because I've got a force of habit to do such a thing. But This is a self-imposed challenge run, and we will be adhering to our own rules. Where? Oh my goodness. This enemy is explosion resistant. As you can see, he's taking the basic damage pretty well, the projectile damage, but the explosion damage he resists pretty significantly. So tablet tends to be the best way to get the kill a lot of the time. It's just a nice little piece of environmental kill there. This is actually one of my favorite biomes. I know a lot of people dislike this area, but I personally feel the ability to utilize the environment of this floor is really, really fun. And the ice everywhere is just ludicrously good. Fun fact, there was actually a patch in this game, or, well, I believe it was a series of patches, where the ice was able to damage the player. And just kind of a nightmare. Kind of a nightmare scenario. The deal with Uko, just don't be near any walls. Try to find an angle where you're not going to be near a wall where when you're shooting at him. Take your pot shots, he'll die. Also, always listen for the electrical buzz. It's a very distinct sound in this biome. One that's more obvious than just about any other. Two pretty scary enemies. This whole biome area is pretty scary. I definitely am wishing I had the machine gun here. And I'm wishing I didn't put Spiral Arc on my Death Cross either, because that's limiting my homing potential as well. Wow, 3 Ukos, huh? Once again, just a lot of enemies. Sniper is a bit of a problem. We're gonna try and get him with that ice. I don't think we did. Pretty sure we did not get him with the ice. We've got a little puzzle here. These are pretty rare. And fairly fun, too. Go ahead and do that if we can. There we go. Beautiful. Gonna try and murder everyone that we can. Might as well. Try to get every advantage we can. This guy actually is really dangerous. I would not recommend getting hit by him. Just a super scary lad. I don't think he's Uko levels of dangerous, but he can definitely do a number on some people. I feel like because he's so unassuming, that's kind of what makes him dangerous. He's a much more mild-mannered than the ever-bombastic Uko, who just blew himself up on his own diamonds. Guaranteed wand spawned over here. Nice. You can actually dig a little bit with teleport if you want. You can phase through walls up a lot easier than you can phase through walls down, just because of the body shape. This structure here guarantees that there's a bunch of Hisi gunners. Oh my goodness, he's actually dropping down for me. That's really cool. So, really interesting trick against these guys is just be directly above or directly below them. As long as they don't have a shot primed, they can't shoot directly up or down, which is really, really handy. I would recommend being above them rather than below them, if at all possible, though, because as you can see, they can just kind of drop down onto you if they want, which is its own problem. Also, this is a great way to drop a tablet down on them, too. It's a lot easier to tablet kick down rather than up. Though, if you want to be able to tablet kick straight up, I actually have a guide for that. I believe it's just called How to Tablet Kick Up, which is pretty handy. It's just like a simple hotkey setup that manipulates some of the way the character moves items around. It's pretty cool. Pretty darn neat. This puzzle can be solved with some water. You can also teleport up through it. You can also use concentrated mana. You can also use lava. There's many, many methods. You can also leak oil through here and set that on fire. That's another method. There's so many ways to solve the puzzles in Noita. Very fun. These guys are just murdering themselves for me. Very handy. I did hear more electricity over there. I think I've had my fill of Ukos. This floor can be a great place for really, really strong loot. Mana is an extremely high spawn rate here. And the wands are pretty reasonable quality as well. They're not like top tier. They're not guaranteed no shuffle like Fungal Caverns, for example. But overall, they're pretty darn good. That's for certain. The fact that mana is as common as it is here is the main driving force behind keeping me here oftentimes. Always cast short range homing on a very, very small wand. Kind of cute, but definitely not what I'm after. We're going to see if we can solve this puzzle. So this one, it just wants you to fill it with liquid You can tell by this little shape here, these little waves. Once you get this full, it'll give you a guaranteed always cast piercing wand. And you can do some pretty cool stuff with a guaranteed always cast piercing wand. Sadly, this one's a shuffle yes, but it's huge. And if we can turn it into a shuffle no, then we'll have a gorgeous wand. And we'll hold on to that and probably use it as our teleport wand for the time being. Oh, I thought that was going to be the most gorgeous double kill ever. A little bit of a shame I didn't get more sauce on that second bounce. Would have been so good. We haven't explored much of the right-hand side of this level. Is that another Uko? It sure is. There are a lot of these lads today. We're going to try a tablet kick on this one. No way. Are there two? No, we've got a Thunder Skull as well. That's fair, I guess. Just need one hit, probably. Yep. All right. That was a lot of electricity. Electricity is easily one of the most deadly modifiers in this game. The fact that it's based on how many like pixels of it is touching you just means that you can easily just instantly be killed if you're unlucky. It's pretty darn spooky. We're getting a little bit saucy here. Unnecessarily aggressive. Is that another Uko down there? No way. I did hear electricity. I do see diamonds. What was this wand? Spark Trigger. I'm willing to give up speed for a Spark Trigger. Spark Trigger is just unbelievably good. Probably the best spell in the entire game. It just enables so many shenanigans. Ooh, so many spells. Bubble Spark with Trigger is just spectacular with a piercing homing setup, and that is kind of the long-term overarching plan that I have for this run. At this point, that is what I would like. I don't know if we'll get it, but we can hope. We can certainly hope. Let's go ahead and jump on down in the next level. Once again, this is a point of no return. And repulsion sector is great. Love that. But what else could we go for? I could go for the roll. I'm going to go for the roll. Telekinesis is strong. Oil blood is fire immunity. I just want no more shuffle, you know? Sometimes you can just force it, but I'm not going to try. We'll just keep what we have. Digging bolts are great. This wand needs to be changed. I think we're going to go to that other build that we recommended earlier. And we'll use it ourselves, because it seems pretty darn good. So just this will clear cleanly. I only need one spark bolt trigger. And at this point, we can dump that. Our inventory is quite cramped. I'm going to say goodbye to my final chain spell. And I'm going to get rid of my sparks, my death cross, and just try to leave a little bit of room for activities. Crit on here won't do anything negative. Any modifiers that I want to hold on to, I will place on my teleport wand. It'll be pretty non-threatening for the most part. I'm going to get rid of all of these pinpoints of light except for one. And I'm going to try and keep this wand for as long as I can. In fact, let's make this our teleport wand. There's almost no reason not to. Unless my teleports start dealing damage, this is completely safe. And it doesn't really change too much. This wand is pretty good. Is it, in fact, so good that it is better in every way except mana? Recharge? I guess we could just run the... They're so similar. It doesn't matter. They're literally the same wand. This one is slightly less of a fixer-upper than this one. But that's okay. Cutter would be a great way to go back up, by the way. If I were trying to go back up, which I normally would, that would be a perfect way to do it. And do I care about more digging bolts? I think 2 digging bolts is pretty good. If I encounter like a super fixer-upper, having some more would be nice. But with the heavy spread in inventory, I'm not too worried about our recharge reduction or anything of the like. So I guess we'll just get blasting. We should have a pretty easy time through here. Do a little bit of that, a little bit of this. None too shabby. I mean, you know, sometimes you do just get lucky. But I just want to point out that with the things that I have found, I probably, well, I almost certainly could have killed Pyramid Boss. I could have killed Alchemist. I could have killed Pit Boss. And I would have had unlimited black holes. I would have had, you know, a much stronger damage wand. Those are all very relevant things. And the fact that I'm not going back up and I'm not taking advantage of those things is an important thing for you to note, I think. Oh my god. Be a little bit careful here. Explosives are, I mean, they're not scary because I'm explosive immune, but, and I don't have to worry about the fire either. Listen, it's better to play like no perks sometimes. But that is definitely my own weakness. Oh hey, look at that. We've got a piercing, accelerating, bouncing burst build. I wouldn't recommend that unless you're literally immune to projectiles, because that'll kill you. But that is pretty darn cool. And if you want to learn how to be immune to projectiles, you should definitely make sure you check out my stream, because I become immune to projectiles all the time. In fact, there's an archived run on my VOD channel, Alias Archives, which you can find here on YouTube, that has like a whole giant run that I did recently called the Luckiest Run on Noita. And you'll see some crazy stuff. Very fun run. Let's just blow everything up here. I'm going to run over to the shop on the far left, and we'll see what kind of goodies we can get. Because there is a secret shop that can spawn either on the left or right. This time it spawned on the left. They're just kind of blasting through everything with this. Imagine if I were still using that other wand. That other pleb wand. This thing is great. Machine guns are good. This is a very simple design, but it just works. The red is great intimidation factor too. It's a shame it doesn't actually do any extra damage. There we go. Just melting through everybody. This guy's in a scary spot. I'm gonna stay away from that. Electricity being one of the main factors I need to be afraid of at this point on the run, I would say. And we've got Poppy random spell. Kind of fun, but not really what I'm after. If we get lucky, I think theoretically we can make it over to the eye room. And I'm gonna say this isn't going up. I don't think this counts as going up at all. You can argue with me on that, but I think this is a going sideways. And that seems reasonable enough to me. We'll go sideways. And looks like we've got a new spell. I'm going to drink some of my concentrated mana, so that way I get increased mana regen. Do another one of those. And we've got Peplicate, which is a brand new spell that I don't... I mean, I know what it does. We'll read it together, though. Cast 5 copies of a projectile in a pentagonal pattern, but copies still cost mana. So you should think about these spells as like a worse version of Divide Buys. That's essentially what they are. They're like an introduction to Divide Buys. They're they're kind of weird. It's funny because their functionality is precisely how I thought multicast work when I very first started playing Noita. But obviously that is not how they work at all. All right, let's jump down here. But it's cool that they're adding new spells, and spells that even if they're like simple and they kind of overlap with the qualities of other spells, it's nice to see that they're still interested in adding stuff into this game. I think that's a really big deal. Do a little bit of that. I'm ready to go to the next floor here. We've got some nice stuff to work with, and we've got an interesting shop. Always cast Accelerating Shot. Kind of nice. Always cast Propane Tank. It's very funny. I'm going to roll. Obviously, Permanent Shield is spectacular, but I'm getting greedy. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Don't try this at home. Okay, so we got concentrate spells, which means that my wand is shooting a lot slower than it was. And it is also doing more damage than it was. And it also means that these heals are now borderline useless. I will hold on to one in the scenario that I get a Greek and I can bypass the damage effects. But I could also use it on my healing wand for piercing healing. In theory, that would... Let's test it. I can't recall. This is good intel. So yeah, you can see this is a great way to heal. And the concentrated spells doesn't add enough damage. The piercing removes all the damage. And then the concentrated spells allows me to... Or sorry, the healing bolt allows me to heal up. Which is very nice. Very nice indeed. But that said, this is irrelevant because we're going down at a fairly quick pace anyway. So it doesn't really make a big difference. And at this point, we can replace the drilling shot. We're going to place these shots like this. And you can see that we're able to shoot fast again. And note that if it weren't for... So normally, Chainsaw reduces your cast delay to 0, but Concentrated Spells overwrites that. The only reason we're able to shoot fast with this wand is because we've got other things reducing the cast delay manually. So if you're ever having problems with a wand that isn't shooting fast because you picked up Concentrated Spells, make sure you have other forms of cast delay reduction. The Chainsaw does still do a flat one-time reduction, but the Concentrated Spells gets calculated on afterwards. So there you go. There's a little knowledge tidbit for somebody out there. Are we going to continue using this Lamo wand? I think we are, because we didn't get lucky. And accelerating shot is going to look really, really good somewhere around here. 180, 360, 380. We will be casting 2 black holes at a time if we put it on there, which would kind of suck. But you know what would look really cool? I'm gonna say it's worth dealing with Steven to show this off. Actually, maybe... Yeah, it's worth dealing with Steven to show this off. It's gonna look cool. Alright. It didn't cast. Because the pentuplicate... Frick. The peplicate. I was hoping that my math was right, but it wasn't. Do we want to... I can't even buy the wand. We'll do the fun, cool later. How about that? Does that sound cool? Does that sound good? One of these. Let us dump a healing bolt. Keep the spiral arc. Dump a spark. Keep another healing bolt. And we'll dump this wand. I think we're going to dump that entirely. We're basically good to go. We could definitely be a lot stronger, but that's where Dragon comes in. Once again, we could use our black hole to dig through the wall here, but I'm just going to continue to teleport over, even though we're never ever coming back here. I just have this insane force of habit. I guarantee you that like 99% of your runs, you should be able to do what I'm doing in terms of escaping the Holy Mountain. You just need to know all the methods. And that just comes with experience. But pretty much every time you're in a Holy Mountain, you should ask yourself, how can I get out of here without having to destroy it? Because being able to come back and edit is really, really good, and it just makes your growth that much stronger. I'm gonna open up this treasure. Oh my goodness. Oh, rare Leggy mutation. This is a terrible perk, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But it's YouTube. It's YouTube. We got it, right? It wouldn't be right if I didn't take it. That would just disappoint everyone. Okay. See if we can dig through here. Oh my god. It's a terrifying wand. The funny thing, it's... It's funny because aiming arc does make it safe, I think. Here, let's check. Yeah, see, aiming arc makes it so the Omega Saw Blade can't hit me. It just fucking looks really scary. It's spooking the shit out of me. Yeah, that's a thing. Wouldn't recommend, but it is a thing. There are ways to make Omega Saw Blade quite safe, and it's a very effective digging tool. But yeah, be careful. Be careful. Omega Saw Blade is a scary one. I would love to have that. I don't know if I'm going to bring Omega Saw Blade with me to the next level. I don't know if we're going to end up using it for anything in particular, but it really just is a question of, do I get something better from Dragon? The answer is normally yes. Dragon's pretty good. I gotta keep in mind that these legs are really killing me. These legs are killing me, Smalls? I don't know. 10 capacity wand. To shuffle, no, 10 capacity wand. The mana doesn't matter because we can use increased lifetime to have unlimited mana. We're gonna give up the Omega Saw Blades. And that is a shame, but that is how it be. Concentrate spells. Not something that I would have taken, by the way, on this run, given the option. But it is arguably a very, very strong perk. Just a lot of free damage. Awful lot of free damage. For basically nothing. Which is very nice. My goodness. My goodness, the damage. Sorry, Michaela's just getting the cat out of the room. I didn't realize she was stuck in here. Alright, let's jump down here. Trying to find some more goodies. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that twitchy guy, he's how you die when you've got a really strong wand. Like one of the classic kill shots that the game tries to deliver to the player these days. I find that is one of my more common deaths is when the enemy picks that up. Oh, hi. The legs are really messing with my movement in case that wasn't obvious. Wow, that's a lot of Dark Flame. Having to do some dodging. Thankfully we have teleport, so that's going to help with our mobility issues that I've generated for myself. And we've also got good recoil as well, which helps. But yeah, Leggy Mutation. Imagine Lucky Mutation, but it can't grab onto walls and ceilings. It's a nightmare. Explosive Projectile and another mana. Melee immunity is pretty cute. We'll take that. And can I afford both? Explosive Projectile and the mana? I don't think we can. Choices. I think we take the mana. I think it just opens up more options for us overall. Especially since we're intending on using the one that we just dropped on the ground here. Alright. Let's see what we can do. These missiles are limited, and we are looking to make a machine gun, so it's not going to be helpful. We're gonna start off by transferring the same wand onto this thing, and then we're going to amp it up from there. So we've got a full extra 30 mana to work with, which is great, and I think we can get away without this reduced recharge because we've got really low recharge already. So this is 0.34 on its own, which covers all of the recharge if we spell wrap it like this. And we're going to be able to have mana on here. And because we have concentrated spells, we're going to be able to abuse the accelerating shot damage, which is really cool. We're not getting it consistently enough on this anyway. And this should do some very, very high levels of damage, I imagine. It's not bad. It could definitely be better. But it's okay. I think we'll go with that. That's pretty fun for now. The crit would help, but you know what would help even more is just more raw damage. We'll put the quad cast on here. Put that on there. And you know what's happening is we're still dealing with cast delay. The cast delay is still a problem on this because of the chainsaw. The add manas are increasing it more than the glimmer can reduce it, and then the concentrated spells is coming into play, which means that we need to get the reduced recharge on here if we wanted to actually shoot fast. And I think we could if we do this. Still not fast, so it needs to be over here. Hang on, let's try reorganizing. Yeah, I guess we're stuck with this amount of cast delay regardless of what we do. There's definitely a way around it. It's just that it's going to limit the build too much. So I guess the next question is, can we take both of these off and go for the quad and then have room for extra projectiles? I'm not sure. Let's find out. So the more projectiles we have in this combo, the more damage that we're going to deal. I might want to take the light and put it over here, honestly. Hang on. What if we do this? Can we afford both of these? So this is... That's 60 and this is 60, so... we won't be able to afford the short-range homing. So maybe we take the short-range homing up. I'm kind of cooking here. I'm cooking up a different build. What if we do something like this? That's a lot better. That's significantly stronger. We don't need the homing because we're filling the room with bullets anyway. And this is going to ramp our damage up a lot. We've got light, which we don't really need because of all-seeing eye. Would we rather glimmer because it's prettier? I wonder if we can get short-range homing on the end here. We can. So that way every other shot has short-range homing. That's a reasonable option. I like it. We've figured something out. It's one of those things where in Noita, the more you take your time with your wands, the better an option you'll find. And I'm sure we could take even more time to find an even better option, but I'm pretty happy with what I have, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. And let's get rid of light and... we'll get rid of slime mist, because that dream is dead, I think. the dream of the homing mist wand is long past. There we go. We're on a pretty unique run here. This is fun. I find runs where I'm a lot weaker, like this one, they tend to be a little bit more interesting because we have to overcome some level of adversity, I suppose. Let's see if we can sneak through here. Beautiful. What's up, Michaela? Oh no. The cat, in case anyone didn't hear that, the door is closed and the bell does not allow closed doors. This is an open door policy house. The kitty cat is in charge. Yeah, I'm almost done this run, and then I suppose I can call it. That'll work. Alrighty, so yeah, we just cruised right through the vault. We're very much strong enough to deal with everything that's left. I'm not too worried about that. Saving grace is really good. Saving grace a lot. We could also steal mana, but I wouldn't be able to put it on because we can't go back up. Do we have any other options? Not really. Not particularly. That's about all she wrote. We can only hope for a really strong... Oh, hey, that's a really scary enemy right there. Do not shoot at that guy. It's a bad idea. If you really are being dealt, or if you're being attacked by one of these guys, the best thing you can do is throw a tablet at him, and that kills him pretty efficiently. Obviously, that was a little bit spooky, but we did get them. And I bet I wish I had healing right now, and the answer is yes, I do. my tablet. Can I black hole it out and grab it? There we go. That's one way of getting it back. So yeah, we're pretty low on health for this region. I'm gonna play it pretty quick and pretty safe. Just try to sneak through, because we do not have a ton of health to play with at this point, and I want to leave. My objective is to live. But yeah, once again, at this point in the run, I'd have unlimited healing, unlimited digging, just everything that you could imagine is normally what I would have in this run if we did the smart thing and went back up. So, you know, that is the lesson to take from this. If anything, just go back up every now and then. Do it. Your run will be better. You will thank your future self for taking the time to go back up. Let's just murder these dudes. That said, this is still like a pretty respectable run. It's not bad. It's not like you can't just go down, because you absolutely can. But it is definitely a fair amount more challenging. Ooh, look at that. The new spell. Alright. Is there anything cool that I can do? Not really. Not really. We're kind of stuck with what we've got. We didn't pick up any orbs, which means that an accelerating homing build, or an accelerating bouncing burst build, is actually quite safe against the boss. Normally it'd be really, really scary. But in this situation, I'm totally alright with it. And yeah, I don't think we need to change anything. Let's go and claim our win. Let's do it. Beautiful. That is an easy peasy victory for me. And yeah, that is the no going back up challenge run. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a little something. And yeah, if you'd like to see more of this sort of content, make sure you subscribe and let me know. Let me know what you want to see. That's what I'll do. And yeah, I'm going on holiday, so I'll see you later. Boop.